I happened to come across a TikTok that I was like, I've seen it, but I also want to react to it and show it to you guys because it kind of sent me over the edge a little bit, and I was like, I hate my bangs, but I was like, I want to share it because what the fuck? What is this? What is this crap? What is this garbage? Before we get started, I'm gonna do my daily water. Okay, ready? Okay. And there we go. Now, look, I want to make it completely clear that what a man or a woman do to their body should be their decision. It does to me, it doesn't matter the gender. I think to any rational person, it doesn't matter the sex of the person or what have you. They should get to have their own bodily autonomy and choose what happens to their body. Just saying that beforehand.
When I just had my fourth baby. So tell me why, when my husband went in to see his primary care today, two separate people tried to convince him not to get a vasectomy. Here's the story. When I was pregnant with my fourth,
I want to stop it there because it has always bothered me to hear women's stories about they want to, get some kind of surgery to prevent them from having kids to begin with or any more kids. And people always try to, like, health care providers always try to talk them out of it, or sometimes they'll even tell them that they won't do it. And sometimes they'll even tell them that they won't do it without their husband's permission or whatever. And that is ridiculous. They came in, they told you what they wanted, do your job. It's your opinion. Unless it is putting their life at risk, your opinion does not matter on whether or not you think that they should have kids or have more kids or not try to keep themselves from having kids or more kids.
child that I just had 4 months ago, my husband and I agreed we were done and that one of us should have some sort of sterilization procedure. We agreed that our plan was going to be that he gets a vasectomy. Why? Because female sterilization is a lot more complicated and comes with more risks. Not to mention the fact that I have been cut open once and had multiple vaginal deliveries. I have dealt with it all. I've gone through the first trimester morning sickness. I've had multiple vaginal births. I've had an
That is a really good point when you and your partner are making the decision. If you've already put your body through a whole bunch of shit, all that really has to happen is a small incision and a burn and then patching it up. And I've read some guys like viewpoints on it, and a lot of them say that they have a slight pain for like 24 hours and like they go out doing like things the next day, like just like things that they enjoy, like golfing or whatever. But you see what I'm saying? Like it's not as invasive of a thing. Your partner has already put their body through hell to provide you guys kids. I would say that it's pretty fair, and it seems like from what I've seen online, a lot of couples make that decision together.
epidural headache. I've gotten mastitis. I've had postpartum depression. My body has been broken, then healed, then broken, then healed multiple times over. It's never been a long discussion. He recognizes that it is his turn. He goes into his appointment and the nurse asks him what he wants to talk to the provider about. And one of the main things, he's been trying to get this appointment for forever, by the way, like months and months, to get the referral to go and set that up to get the vasectomy. The nurse questions him and is like, why do you want to get a vasectomy? And he's like, because I have 4 kids and we're done. What do you mean? I'm 38 years old. She basically says, well, why isn't your wife?
Why do you need to know? I'm so sorry. And I understand that sometimes a question like that may be necessary. It's really none of your fucking business why someone wants a vasectomy. It's really not. Unless this man comes in seeming extremely mentally unstable, why would you ask him that? I mean, I guess maybe they're supposed to, but once he says we've had not I, we've had 4 kids and we're done. First of all, that sentence says a lot to someone. It says so much to someone that there should be no more questions asked. It says what she just said, that my wife, her body has been broken and healed and broken and healed and broken and healed, and all the complications that can come along with that she's probably had at least once. like, like she said, mastitis, I think, postpartum depression. I think she said she's had 1 C-section and 3 vaginal births. That's a lot. That's not even counting the 9 months pregnant and whether she had preeclampsia or anything like that. So it says that. It says, "We have a lot of kids." I don't care what people say, 4 kids is a lot of kids. It says, "We have a lot of kids, we don't need no more." That's 2 things it says. 3 things the 3rd thing it says is that that man realizes that he wants to get a vasectomy. He has made that decision, and he's telling you that as the provider of the service, or at least helping get the referral for the service. Like, that's all that needs to be said. Nothing else needs to be said.
Getting a tubal. And my husband, my well-educated husband, because he's married to a certified nurse midwife, says because a tubal is a lot more complicated than a vasectomy. Going back to 8th grade anatomy class, men's plumbing is on the outside. Women's plumbing is on the inside. To get to his plumbing, they make a tiny, little pinhole incision. Get the vas deferens, snip it, cauterize it, you're done, and then they give you adequate pain control. More pain control than I got after my vaginal births.
Which is crazy. Did you know that men pass out just from watching? Well, not just men, I'm sure women do too, but they pass out just from watching a vaginal birth, which tells you how horrific and painful it can be. Or, I mean, even if you're not feeling pain as a woman, like, still to look at it would hurt, I feel like. So it's kind of a good thing you can't see that part of yourself that well, when you're giving birth vaginally. But, like, he gets more pain medication for which is not his fault, obviously. It's the fault of providers. Like, why would the man get more pain medication for getting something done that he doesn't feel? And often men don't feel very much even after they get it done, after, the numbing wears off. That's crazy.
My husband explains to her that a vasectomy is a lot less complicated. The nurse shakes her head and tries to tell him that that's not true. He then says,
A nurse. Is she registered, certified, ever done any kind of schooling to get there? Or does she just lie at the drop of a hat for funsies? Like, what does she mean that she thinks a tubal is less invasive than a vasectomy? What does she mean? Honestly, I feel like even the layperson, like the layman, wouldn't even that knows nothing about it. I feel like even they would question that. Be like, you're lying to me, right?
as my wife is a midwife. She works in women's health. This is kind of her specialty. And it is true. Nurse just looks down at her chart and kind of shakes her head, judges. She thinks that me, a woman she's never met, should go and have a surgery done. Then later, the provider comes in. The provider,
Which is problematic. You're not she's not your provider. If she's never met you and she's saying that you should be getting the tubal and not your husband the vasectomy, that's crazy to me. She has no idea anything about you or your health or anything, and she's
has on her chart, my husband can see it, talk about vasectomy, and she never brings it up. Towards the end of the visit, when she's like, okay, do you have any other concerns? My husband says, well, I would also like to talk about the vasectomy that I told the nurse about. The provider kind of brushes him off. Yeah, okay, whatever. My husband says, okay, well, what can I expect in terms of receiving a call from the urologist? Then the provider goes on to say, well, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. We have to get.
Why? I have a 2-year-old over there. You know how many hoops I had to jump through to be able to get pregnant? None. Not a single fucking one. I didn't have to sign a paper. Nothing. They just let you have children whose lives you're responsible for and leave with them. But to decide not to do that after doing that 4 times, you have to jump through hoops? That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. That is stupid. You know what you have to do? I know that it's different everywhere you go, but I know my particular OBGYN even for me, which they're really weird about in a lot of places letting women, do something like that to not have children. But I know that at my or not have more children. But I know that at my OBGYN, you know, the not the first time they don't offer it to you, but the second time you get pregnant, they offer, do you want to get your tubes tied after you deliver the second baby? And that's that. I mean, you're going to have to sign a paper, but they're not going to sit there and try to talk you out of making a decision for your body and the future of your family. They don't treat you like you're an idiot. They don't treat you like you don't know anything. They don't treat you like you're not mentally capable of making your own decisions. I just don't understand where the medical staff gets off acting like this.
Do a mental evaluation, trying to discourage him from wanting. And he says, I'll do whatever I need to do. She leaves. Now he's waiting on the psych person to come in. And not because of the psych evaluation for the vasectomy. He's waiting on this person to come in to just do a screening. He comes in, the guy's about to leave. He says, hey, what about the vasectomy psych evaluation? And the guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He leaves feeling like that referral is definitely not getting put in. Why are they doing this to him? Imagine a guy goes in with his mind not entirely made up. That nurse and that provider would have 100% either convinced him not to get the vasectomy or made it so challenging for him to get it that his wife, who just gave birth, is now going to go in for an additional surgery. I just think that's gross. But what do you guys think?
I agree. I think it's incredibly gross. I think that they are drifting into things that is not their business. I understand why sometimes medical staff may ask certain questions to make sure that someone is in a good frame of mind to make decisions that are either hard to reverse or irreversible. And especially when it comes to decisions that are as large as having kids. But you do not have to jump through a single hoop. Well, other than if you have infertility issues, but that's obvious that you know that that's not what I'm referring to. You don't have to ask anyone before going and laying down your partner and getting pregnant with them. You don't. You don't have to jump through any hoops. So tell me why you have to jump through more hoops to try to not bring life or more life into the world, which is a huge responsibility, than you do actually doing the huge responsibility. It makes me so mad. It is an individual person's decision if they want to decide to alter their body to no longer have children. And then again, unless they're coming in an obvious broken mental state, it to me, it's not your fucking business. It's just not. My final thoughts are, what the fuck is wrong with people? But anyways, I'm not gonna keep yabbering on about this. I just wanted to get on here and obviously, I say this all the time. I wanted to get on here and rant about it, but I am working on a longer, more in-depth video. And I'm not sure when I'll have that out because I have quite a bit of stuff going on. So right now I've just kind of been creating some shorter content while I'm working through making the longer video. And if you guys would like to like this video, that'd be cool. If you'd like to subscribe, that'd be awesome. And if you wouldn't, then I will try again next time. Bye bye.